Right.
The team is such an important part because you just all really encourage each other and motivate each other a lot because I mean, running is not one of those fun sports. You're not like, yeah, I get to go run today.
Well, that's why I said, I love endurance workouts.
Yeah,
said no one ever except Grace and Cole.
It's like I feel like I'm dying the whole time. But it's like
such a love-hate.
Your team makes it so much more fun. It's like because you guys you're going through it together. You're all getting better together. You're improving
going
together.
Through pain with other people.
Yeah, it makes it a lot
so
better.
counterintuitively awesome.
Yeah, it's you bond. It definitely brings you all together, and I think it's really cool because like the bond you have with your teammates is like not a bond you find anywhere else.
I'm excited to hear about you guys' stories from running and cross country and all that. So heard really good things. So thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for carving out some time. Cole Jones is taking his jacket off, and we've got Grace Peacock, and we've got Larainna Williams. Your last name is Peacock, right?
Yes.
I don't know why that's so hilarious.
People never believe me.
But your last name's Peacock?
Yes. Like my Instagram name is like Grace Peacock, and someone like this year asked me, they're like, why are you so obsessed with birds? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, your Instagram's Grace Peacock. I'm like, because that's my name.
Well, so many people, their screen name is like first initial, favorite animal, favorite color, and then like 3 digits, right?
Just my name.
Y'all know what mine was for the longest time?
Coleslaw and beans.
Coleslaw.
It still is, isn't it? Or am I friends
changed.
with you on your fake Instagram?
No, I changed it to Cole, just like Cole Jones 00.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Cole _
We're maturing.
Jones 00.
Well, we might as well plug our Instagrams too. So where can people find you guys if they have questions for
Hey,
y'all?
I'm going into marketing
after
so,
the show.
Like,
Larainna, what's your screen name?
Larainna
_ just underscore?
Yeah.
There you go. And how do you spell Larainna, by the way?
Larainna.
It looks like Loriana.
Yeah.
Because when you
Larainna.
sent me her contact info, you put Loriana in your phone.
No,
that's why it looks like Loriana in your phone.
Wait, is it really?
I don't know. He like sent it wrong.
Wait, hold on. Let's check.
As you check. So today, you guys are 3 of the athletes on the Oceanside Collegiate Academy cross-country team. All right, Cole. Validation. How'd you spell it in your phone? Thumb up or thumb down, Larainna?
Is that correct?
No, that's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm
You
glad
spelled
we
it
cleared
right.
that up. By graduation, you cleared up her contact in your phone.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear about you guys. I'm especially biased toward respecting runners.
Mm-hmm.
When I was your age, I didn't do any running. My idea of long-distance running was doing a lap around the baseball field before practice. And they thought I was a runner by doing a lap around the baseball field. It's like, this is nothing. But at the time, it was something. But over time, I really learned to love and appreciate running. And so I want to hear you guys' hearts, hear you guys' stories, hear you guys' journeys on what running has meant for you and other sports and how you've even balanced all that, how you've balanced being successful cross-country runners and hearing about the successes, but also balancing other cool activities, having a life outside of school. That's really important. Is a deterrent from some people reaching out and doing really cool stuff. They want to have a life. So I want to hear you guys take on that too. So first, just wanted to ask overall, how'd this season go? What was maybe 1 or 2 highlights from this season, or you can share from another season, Grace, because sounded like you had some other highlights too. But I want to hear maybe 1 or 2 highlights from you guys.
Well, I think one of we can all agree that probably our favorite part of the whole season was like how much we bonded at the beginning of the season. Like we all went in with the attitude like we want to be like really good friends and build each other up a lot. So we did a lot of like we would have days like we would just hang out at the pool all day and just a lot of fun
Team
stuff
building.
like that. So we got really close. And
Was that
could support
cross training
each other.
or was it hanging out?
No
Swimming?
just hanging out.
Yeah, no swimming.
We did
no
some
cross
belly
training.
flop contests. No actual cross training.
True
or
that.
anything.
True.
What was that thing that Cameron did? It was the walrus race.
Weird. Don't talk about that.
The walrus race.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to appropriate. On a scale of 1 to appropriate.
Funny.
Yeah, sure. We'll edit it out. Okay, what's up?
Okay, so it's called the walrus race, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
it's not inappropriate.
It's just weird.
It's just really weird. He our friend or one of the teammates, Cameron, it's where you can't use your arms or legs and you have to like start
waddle like with your shoulders.
waddle on
into
your
the
like
pool.
on your stomach into the pool and like his nipples started bleeding.
Wait, it gets worse.
No.
We're all at my house,
Yeah.
and he goes up to my mom and goes, "Hi, do you have any Band-Aids for?" So my mom went for little Band-Aids on his nose.
Man, the things moms do for their
Yeah.
kids and their friends' kids.
Oh.
Well, it's even like close to home because runners literally put Band-Aids
Tape, yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, I
before
know.
races
It's
because you
kinda-
get all this chafing during long distance races.
that's funny.
Crazy things runners do. I mean, they put like Astroglide in weird places.
Yeah.
It's just weird things runners do, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
So this just adds to the list of weird things runners do.
Yeah.
Walrus races.
Don't try it at home,
Always.
kids.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I was thinking of what would be the most awkward like running pose. My friend showed me a video of awkward running
Like every
poses.
single pose
Yeah.
ever.
Oh,
Any
our pictures are
picture.
all horrible. All of us look like we're dying.
I was
Okay.
trying to think what would T-Rex count as one of the most awkward poses if you had to run as a
That's
T-Rex?
how I always look.
Is that how you always look?
Yes, every running
Well,
picture ever.
Grace
Like,
Grace runs with her hands down like this.
Yeah.
Kind of like
My old
Yeah.
coach used to make me like hold eggs and run with the eggs to make sure I would stay like with my arms right.
uh-huh.
But we didn't do that this season, so it kind of went back to the old like this kind of just flops.
Yeah. When I was younger, my coach would tell me to like pretend I had a potato chip in my hand
Yeah.
with my middle finger and my thumb, and just kind of run like that.
That's actually how I run. I think about it as a Cheerio, but that's kind of another story. It's kind of a Citadel thing.
Ooh.
But
He's
yeah.
cooler than us because he went to Citadel.
Never said that. Just said I think about it in terms of
Just
Cheerios.
messing.
Yeah, do Cheerios with my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is kind of a practical tip.
Mhm.
It's kind of to what would you say the purpose of doing that is?
It's to keep you comfortable, and you don't want to clench your fist because you want all your blood to go to your legs, and you don't want to be too loose because then you'll just be floppy, and so it just keeps you nice and composed, just like this. Nice balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Very cool. Any actually running highlights?
One time we were at this one meet. I think our IOP meet got canceled, and we went to Military Magnet, and
It's a different place.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
going from the beach to
Yeah.
running
So
like
IOP got
concrete
canceled.
Through a
city.
football field with like the
Cleats.
football players were playing.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Part
yeah.
of the race
Oh,
was
they were
going
playing?
like right in the middle of them.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So they're practicing, and we have to go like right through the middle of the football field. And anyways, a bunch of us go off course and take the wrong turn for the guys, and so probably like 5 or 6 of us, and so we get turned around, and I'm like 2 minutes, is like 6 of the front guys, and so like I'm like 2 or 3 minutes behind. It might have been like 4 minutes. I'm not really sure. But so I had to turn around, and then I caught up with like everybody else and ended up winning the race. But that was
Yeah.
yeah, that was one thing I
It
was.
was fun. Oceanside
surprised
kind of
about.
dominated it. It like wasn't a real meet, so it didn't really count, but it was
Yeah.
cool because we all did.
Everybody
Our
did-
times weren't great, but we still we
hey,
pretty much won the
you,
race.
You won that race. You won that race.
Yeah.
You won the real race.
Oh, did you actually win, Grace?
Yeah, it was complicated though. These girls accidentally cut off like half the course, so
Yeah,
it looked
so-
like they won, but I like technically won.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. How do they
Yeah.
alleviate shortcuts
They
in
just
cross
disqualified them.
country?
Yeah.
But it was just a scrimmage, so it didn't actually count for anything, so it wouldn't have really mattered.
But they messed up on the boys and the girls. Like
yeah, it
the
was
boys,
a bad
It
time.
was so
But it was a
bad.
the highlight of our season though because we won the race.
Mhm.
Do you get medals? So I'm really getting educated here because again, I didn't do cross country. Senior year, I told all these coaches I was going to do all the sports, and then they just didn't work out. You in your mind, you're like, I'm a senior, I'm going to do everything, and then you can't. So, do you get medals every race if you
So
win top
it
3 or
depends
what
on
is it?
Race.
What's it like?
So like I've won a JV race before and like first place and just got like a bag, like a cinch sack that said like the meet's name on it, but you didn't
Yeah.
get a medal or anything. And then for county, which is like the IOP race, I got 4th last year, and you get just like a paper that says like congratulations, all county runner has your
paper.
name on it. So I think you get
That's
medals
lovely.
at some races, but not very likely.
When I
They're
was,
usually not very good prizes.
Yeah, when I was running for recreation, I used to get medals for that, but once I started playing for or running for OCA, I didn't get any medals.
Huh.
There's like not really any good rewards for cross country meets, sadly.
I got a plaque and they spelt my name wrong.
It's probably Cole probably told
Yeah,
them
that's
who won
probably
or
me.
something.
I actually won my age group for a half marathon last year, and we like had left after the awards because we didn't like think that I'd won anything. And they called us like, we have an award for you, come back. So we got back home at Pleasant, then we drove back to Folly Beach to get my award, and it was a mug that you could like get in the gift shop that just said like Save the Light half marathon.
Oh, is that at Folly Beach?
Yeah.
I did I did the 5K version
Really?
a couple years ago. I didn't even do the half marathon version. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How many half marathons have you done, Grace?
I've done 4, and I'm
Wow.
gonna do a 5th one this year, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
I love them though. I like I'm a distance girl. I don't like short distance at all.
Yeah. That's kind of how I am too. But for cross country, tell me, and this is an elementary question, how many distance levels are there in cross country? Is it just 5K?
For high school.
There's just one race, yeah.
Yeah.
Just 5K.
5K, right. Right. So,
When you get into college, it's 8K and 10K.
6K too, right? Girls do 6Ks, I think.
Oh, well, I
Sometimes.
think there's like 6K,
Yeah.
8K, and like 10K.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is half marathon the longest distance race that you've competed in, Grace?
Yes, it's the longest I'm allowed to. Like, there's a state law that you can't do it if you're under 18 before you can do a full marathon. So,
I did
Really?
not know
yeah.
that. Wow.
So I have to wait till I'm 18 to do an actual one, which I plan on doing whenever I'm old enough.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've
didn't
tried
know
signing
either.
up for a few, and like all that I've looked at, like don't let you do unless you're 18.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have y'all branched out, Cole? I think you've done some more races. Have y'all
Yeah.
branched out to more than 5Ks?
So I did a 206-mile relay race, and I ran about 30 miles of that. And
Wow.
then I did an adventure race, and that was mostly biking. It was like 40 miles biking, 10 miles like hiking, and then like 3 miles paddling. And then I'm gonna do another adventure race this year, and then that same relay race this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Larainna, have you branched out?
Not yet. I want to do a half marathon one day.
I'll do it with you.
Yeah. It's going to take some training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool
No,
though,
you
with
can
the
do
half
it.
marathon. It surprises you like how much easier than you think it would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I was
I've
like you're in shape from cross country. Even if you don't realize it, like you can do a lot more than you think you can.
I think when it's a 5K, like you have this mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna be finished. Like I know when the finish line is. So like when you're running a half marathon or a marathon, you know where that finish line is, so you know what you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
But at a 5K, you're like, you know what you have to do to get there. It's just a different mindset, I guess.
yeah.
True. True.
And
Very
for
cool.
me, I go into it with a 5K. Like this is 20 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Faster I'm run, the faster I'm done with it. You know, half
Exactly.
marathon, you gotta like, and you're in for the race. So you gotta
Yeah.
actually like enjoy the running part more.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I got some really great other questions. Can y'all hear those birds in the background?
I definitely
Yeah.
can.
We're gonna try to like hurt them or something. We'll be back and we'll take a break and we'll be back here in a minute.
All right.
Just kidding. Won't hurt the birds. I'm just gonna ask them to move. No, we will take a break. So, do y'all have any, talking about long distance races, you said you potentially want to do a marathon from it. At what point in your 5K running career were you like, oh, I think I have enough in me to go do a half marathon and then a marathon? How's that look
Well,
for you?
for me, freshman year was my first year running. I actually got into running because I did like competitive swimming for 4 years, and I just was not improving. I was always in like the age group below mine, so it wasn't fast enough for my group.
So,
So,
are you saying 5th grade to 8th grade? Is that kind of what you mean?
5th to like half of
Okay.
8th. And I just wasn't loving it after a few years. And we would always go and do dry land, and we had to do laps around the track. And everybody else hated laps around the track, but I was like, oh, I actually kind of like the running part of swimming. So decided to give track a try. So I did track the end of 8th grade just for like our city's club, and I loved it. So I did cross country my freshman year, and started out being the slowest girl on the team. I was like 30th. I was happy that my 5K was under like 40 minutes. Like I was so excited about that.
40-minute
And-
5K.
Yeah. which is funny because I've gotten down to like half that. But I had this coach, and she like just believed in me so much, and she's like, Grace, you can be up there with the fast girls. Like I was in group 3, which was like the slow group, and group 1 was the fast group. And she's like, you need to get up there. She's like, I feel like you can be in group 1 if you really try. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, go for it. So I just tried to run with the fast girls one day, got up there, and I think I just really surprised myself for what I could do, because then I ended up on varsity my first year ever running as a freshman. So
Oh, wow.
that was like a really cool experience, and that like made me believe in myself a lot more. And then I realized how much I loved our distance workouts so much, because we would do like 6 to 8 miles a day. And then for track conditioning, we would also do super long runs. And I was like, I should do a half marathon. It's not that much longer. It'd be a really cool thing to say I did. So I just tried it, trained with like, I mainly just did track conditioning to train for it. And it was really cool though. I feel like it was a big thing for like believing in myself, because I've never really like done an accomplishment like that before.
Yeah. Yeah, half marathon's a big deal. I don't know
Yeah.
if that many high schoolers, do y'all have a lot of friends that do half marathons?
I was the only
Like,
one.
You didn't have like a running buddy, anything like that? No.
All my friends are like, no, that's too long. Because
Yeah.
most of my friends that did cross country were in it to stay in shape for track more so.
Okay.
And there was a few of us that actually liked cross country, and I was one of the few that like loved cross country, distance, did not love track. I was more do track to stay in shape for cross country kind of mindset.
Okay, so you're kind of the opposite of the others.
Yeah.
What was your draw then to cross country?
Cross country, more so, I mainly just did it because after swimming, I was like, this is kind of too late to start any other sports. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I really liked running, so I went into cross country, and then I just kind of realized I really liked the distance part of it. I didn't love the track workouts, but I thought they were good workouts, so that part was good. But I definitely like the distance runs a lot more, just so you can clear your head, get like everything off your mind, and I really liked that about it.
Okay. Yeah. And personally, I generally agree with you. I just know almost everyone is like the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, who likes distance?
I love it. You just get out
Said
there.
no
you
one
can
ever
clear
except
your
Grace
head.
Peacock.
I love distance. I got 6 mile, 8 mile runs. As soon as you get past the 5 for me, it's like I can't feel my legs. Doesn't sound good, but it doesn't hurt or anything. And you got
Yeah.
the endorphins going, get the runners high. It's great. I love long runs.
Yeah. And Cole, are you kind of the same way?
I'm the exact same way.
You're exact same way.
I have a similar story to that. I swam a lot when I was a lot younger, and then I kind of got back into it in middle school, and I just realized I was super bad at it. I was
me.
not good at it at all.
I was
Y'all
always
don't
in,
even
the
know.
Slow heat.
When I got into triathlon, I didn't even know how to swim.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I was afraid to go to the deep
hard.
end.
I used
don't
to actually
understand.
I wouldn't actually have a panic attack, but I would just be like, I can't do butterfly. I can't do it before I'd ever have to swim butterfly. So I would never have to actually like swim it in a race. I would just freak out right before, so I never had to do it. I was terrible at it. I hated swimming. It was not my best time.
Yeah, and then same as her, like when we do like land workouts, like I would always just be in front of everybody, just like running, and I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Land workouts, you mean running?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically just to build up your endurance
Okay.
for swimming. And
Gotcha.
and I actually in 8th grade I was playing football and broke my knee, and so I had to recover from that, and then my mom was like, yeah, you're not playing football again. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try something different. And so I decided to do cross country, try it out, just why not, for a rec team on Daniel Island. And I wasn't great I was running with a lot of smaller or like younger kids, and so I think that coach really got me involved and really got me like gave me the spirit to run more. Well, actually, I'd say Coach Tammy. Like I ran for her for the longest time. She gives you such like
yeah.
inspiration, I guess,
And
to like run.
Where does she coach? A rec?
Mount Pleasant
yeah,
track.
Mount
Okay.
Pleasant track. And
Okay.
she just knows you so well and gets to know you so well, and I don't know. She gives you such an inspiration to run and just do better for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think for me, a big thing about running too, that like this goes back to kind of like the half marathon and just like starting running and stuff, is I thought it was really cool that running is one of those things that your performance is like totally based on how hard you work. So like some sports, it's so much about like your natural skill and stuff, but with running, it's if you go out there and work hard, you're gonna do good. I think it was
Exactly. Yeah, I
really
like
cool. You
that.
could like see the
Yeah.
results so fast just by working hard. Like, oh, I can
That's
do
such
this.
a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must explain why I do running.
That's why
You don't have to be skilled at stuff.
I always joke around
and
like
you
I
can
was
still
bad at every
excel.
other sports, and
Yeah.
running was the one that was left.
Yeah,
It
well,
works out though, because you can work hard and you can do good in running, which is
Mhm.
something really cool.
Yeah, it does give a great outlet to those, whether you're coordinated or not, to do other sports.
Yeah.
Some people are just super blessed. Larainna does lacrosse. That takes
A lot of
lacrosse,
skill.
right?
Yeah.
Probably
a
other
lot of
sports.
skill.
Do you do any other sports?
No, honestly, I started lacrosse to stay in shape for cross country.
All y'all just doing things to stay in shape for other things.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of how
I
it
didn't even
works
know
in
what
high
I was doing. I
school.
was just trying to like be the world's greatest football player, but I was injured seemingly the whole time
Yeah.
trying to get there in high school.
Yeah.
Definitely have had that struggle with cross country though.
Yeah.
A couple injuries you had to
Shin.
battle.
I had a stress fracture freshman year, so I was out for a long time.
So talk about that, because injuries can definitely be something that really drives you down, makes you want to quit forever, makes you
Yeah.
feel like you'll never recover. Maybe
Injuries
talk
have
about
been
that season for a minute.
Definitely tough. So freshman year was my first year like ever really running like that. I didn't go to conditioning at all that summer, which was not smart on my part. But so went into it, have shin splints all the time, but I was like, oh, I can't be out my first time running. So I ran through my shin splints and I would go to the trainer every day, go sit in the whirlpool, get like the ice and everything. And then track came around and it was still really bothering me. And then I remember we did one track workout and we did 8-mile repeats at race pace. So that's like an insanely hard workout, but it hurt like more than it should have.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a really tough
8
workout.
miles at race
No,
pace?
no, 8 1 mile.
Yeah, 8 1-milers at
Yeah.
race pace.
Our Wando distance workouts were insane.
Wow. And would you do a 1-to-1 recovery? What did recovery between those look like? I know there's
I
ratios
think you
can
get
do.
a few, I don't really remember the exact, but you would get a few minutes of rest, but
Yeah.
then you'd have to go right back at it. It wasn't good. We were all getting injured after that. But we did like, I think I was on like my 5th one, got back and just like broke down in tears. And my coach was like, Grace, like, what's wrong? I was like, my shin hurts so bad. And he was like, why didn't you say anything before? And I was like, well, I thought it was just because it was a hard workout. So then went to the trainer, got in a boot that day, went and got the x-ray, and had a stress fracture. So I was in a boot for about I was only in a boot for about a month, but I was on crutches for 2 weeks and I couldn't run or anything, which was really hard because I feel like you don't really realize how much you like love a sport until you can't do it. So like
Yeah.
seeing all my friends at practice running and having to sit there and help time and stuff like that was not fun. But it definitely made me want to like get back at it so much more and work a lot harder whenever I could again. And it also made me a lot more conscious about injuries and how important it was to like stretch and ice and not push yourself too hard, and like knowing the difference between being hurt and just working hard, you know? So I think the big part of it for me though was it like helped me realize, like, as much as it was terrible, it also helped me realize how much I did love running and how important it was to me, because I like realized how much I like hated being without it.
And did you have to do, for stress fractures, did you have to do any physical therapy, or was it just the
Yes.
boot?
I had to do physical therapy. They would do like the ultrasound on it. I had to do
Yeah.
some
Been
biking
there.
and that kind of stuff, some weights. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Wow. Would you say, though, you've fully recovered and then some by now? How's
Yeah.
that recovery?
The recovery was good. Once I started running again, I definitely eased back into it like I was supposed to, because if I would have gone back too hard, it would have came back again. So I really haven't had any like shin problems or any shin splints or anything like that since then. But I'm definitely more conscious. If my shin does start to hurt, I like don't run, ice it, get it figured out. I don't try to be tough girl and go through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cole, have you had any, or Larainna, have you guys have any injury stories that you've pushed past?
I mean, I broke my leg and I had to push past that. But
How'd you break your leg?
like I said, when I was playing football in 8th grade.
Oh.
Yeah, so I tore my MCL and broke my patella in half.
Jeez.
Yeah, I went to go tackle somebody and I broke. He broke me.
So
So
middle linebacker, dude.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker turned cross country athlete.
yeah. So yeah,
You've
that happened.
pushed past that now.
Yeah, and that took like a long time to recover, and then I ended up just trying to run, and you know that took like cycling, that took like weightlifting and like squats. I mean, that took like a lot of
Yeah.
work to build that muscle back up and like heal that bone. But shin splints I always deal with shin splints every single year. Whenever it's like right in the middle of my season when I'm like really getting into running, shin splints they kill me. And then sometimes if I'm running awkwardly, or if I've just been running a lot, my hip will start hurting. And it's just, you know, you gotta stretch and you gotta do the things that you know, you gotta put in the work so that stuff doesn't happen. And if you don't, then you know that stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely part of the sport, though,
Yeah,
which
for
kind of
sure.
stinks. Like, if you're going to be a distance runner, you're going to have to deal with injuries.
Yeah, well, that's a good broad point because everyone has this idea that they're doing something wrong if they're going through some kind of intense pain.
Yeah.
Or if they got hurt, maybe they did something wrong.
It kind of means you're doing something right in a way.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole.
Because
So
you're
that's
working
flipping
really
the
hard.
philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be a little bit painful,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And we all have stories by now to relate to that. One of my questions was about the wall. You know, the wall and especially endurance training. I don't know if you guys hit walls in 5Ks, but could you guys speak? Do y'all have any examples of hitting a crazy wall in a race or even just training, and what that wall even is?
For me, it was like an actual like time. For me, it was breaking 22. I like could not get past it. I would run like 22 flat, like multiple races in a row. And then the race I like finally got past it was like a huge like breaking point for me. And it was just like getting a little bit faster, but just getting to that point was like really, really hard. And it was like a mental block. It was like I can't get any faster. It's like, I can't do it. So then one day finally I was like, I'm gonna do it today. And it was at Region sophomore year. And I was at a course that we had all always been like, this is a slow course. We always do bad here. But I just had to get like out of a lot is just getting out of your head for it. And just pushing through, even though it really hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's similar. I had a time that I wanted to beat, which I did beat it, but it wasn't quite what I wanted for this year. And but yeah, you just at the beginning of the season, I mean, both of y'all know, like I'd get upset after like each race because like I'm just not improving, like I'm not getting to where I need to be. And finally, I can't remember which race it was, but I kind of just like broke through and like started improving a lot. But just when you just keep trying and keep working and you don't get to like where you want to be, that's what really sucks. And that's like a really big wall. And you just gotta keep pushing. Really, is all I can say is like if you think you've gone far enough, you haven't gone far enough. You just gotta keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your current target to hit for whether it's a 5K time or some other distance time?
Low 17s. I mean, that's been my target for a while, but luckily I beat my past PR. So right now I'm sitting at 17:43.
Yeah. Wow. So 17:43. So that's easy sub 6 minute for 5K.
Yeah,
so that's
like,
call
that's
it
like
5.5
5:40.
minute.
No, it's like 5. Yeah, almost 5.5. Yeah.
Wow. For
5:40s.
3.1 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sick, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. Me and Grace, we're chilling at like the 22-ish mile time marker.
Yeah. But I got accepted into USC Upstate. They wanted me on their team. So
That's huge.
I was so excited for that. I thought that like I worked so hard to get into those low 17s, and like I figured that like that was the only way I was gonna get on the team. But like I kept up with that coach and like was always talking to him, telling him how I was doing on my meets, telling him how I was improving, and finally, like he didn't even see me race at the state championship. He was just like, "Yeah, we want you on our team, so like we're happy to have you." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Awesome."
Now let's talk more about that process, and if you guys have something to add or you have your own experience in that, what did that look like for you in keeping that relationship with that coach? Were you emailing him kind of every other week, or did you connect with him
Yeah.
a year in advance? How many knocks did it take to really keep that up and eventually get him interested in looking at you to be on their team?
So I'm not like up here where like coaches like really want me and whatnot. So I had to really work for like getting a spot on the team. So I was emailing a lot of coaches, and probably I think it was like May of last year, I went to go talk to that coach like face to face, and was telling him about how like I was training that summer, and telling him about like my next season and whatnot, and how I'm really interested in going to USC Upstate and whatnot. And so it's really nice to get that face to face because they get to get that face to name, and
Yep.
it's really good to like always keep your name in front of their face, like at all times because they're going through so many people like all the time. So like if you're not constantly like talking to them, then they're just gonna kind of forget about you. Especially for me because I was like good enough to get on the team, but I wasn't good enough to be like, whoa, we really need this guy.
Sure.
So like I had to like really not only work my butt off in like running, but also work my butt off like getting my name out there. So I was constantly emailing him. When he wouldn't email me back, I was like a clingy boyfriend.
Well, that's an interesting point. And so I'm 27, and I went through a process of trying to walk on for punting on the Citadel football team way back. Didn't work out. Frankly, I'm glad it didn't. I could have had maybe a good career there, but I'm glad the way things worked out. It can always work out as long as you keep your attitude.
Exactly.
And if you're a good person, good things will come your way as long as you keep that up, no matter what those good things look like. So it didn't work out, but I went through that process. But consistency, like you said, is so key. You know, the clingy boyfriend type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, coaches, people in general, employers want people that are enthusiastic about joining their squadron,
Exactly.
about being a part of it. And there's definitely a difference between, you know, clingy and that sort of thing and being super enthused to be there, you know. Always show that you respect their time. You know, thank you for your time in this email. Thank you for allowing me to come visit. Right. And you said you visited the coach how many times?
Like 3 times before, I think 3 times at his office before finally he came up to me and told me that I could be on the team.
Wow. So stuff like that too, because you had to travel, right?
Yeah,
how many hours away is that?
3.5.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of touches, and that shows a lot whenever you're willing to travel, especially.
Exactly.
You know, because anyone can send an email, and emails are good. That's a touch. But really getting in front of a coach, that's huge.
Yeah.
So it's really about how much you want it. So I know for me, it was pretty easy for me to go visit the Citadel when I was interested in punting in high school. It was a 10-minute drive. But I probably only visited the coaches maybe twice. So I visited the coaches 10 minutes away, less than you visited, and you had to drive 3.5 hours. So, you know, really your willpower can dictate what happens to you.
For sure.
In a lot of ways. So I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys, and you've got another year of running, and you're graduating, Larainna, right? So do you guys see running in your 5-year plan on a team or anything?
For a while, and I had contacted a few coaches, and I was able to walk on for PC where I was with my time of last season. But if I improved by 30 seconds, I could get scholarship money to run there. But I'm kind of leaning towards not running in college now. I just think that I want to focus more on distance running, and I just don't really know if I'm up for the commitment of a college sport.
Yeah, it is kind of like a full-time job.
Yeah. And I'd rather be focused on school and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it'd be a lot to handle everything.
Yeah. Where are y'all looking at where to go to college, or are y'all going to college? What's kind of y'all's look right now?
Clemson's my number one.
Clemson, okay.
Really like that.
Not Clemson, right?
What?
Wait, what?
That's the thing people from Clemson, they hate whenever you put a P in there. Clemson.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard that either.
Oh, you will.
Clemson.
You will.
Clemson
And it's
UGA,
not
though.
Clemson.
Really like this
Clemson.
too.
UGA. Cool.
Yeah, that's where I want to go.
Which one?
UGA.
Wow. What's the Georgia appeal going on here?
I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you moved here at what point?
My sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what's your appeal to Georgia?
Honestly, just everyone I know that goes there really, really likes it. I've just heard really good things about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have anything special.
Okay.
Athens is a really nice place to stay. I know that.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Any SEC or even ACC school for that matter, I approve. So, stay on this side of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Big plans. Big stuff. Well, then a couple other questions. How about most rewarding aspect of being a part of either that's being a part of the team or just adopting running into your personal regime? What's been some of the most rewarding aspects?
To be honest, it's seeing my friends succeed.
Wow.
When Grace, when she finally, I don't know, you, at the end of the season, you stepped up your game, and I know you were really upset towards the beginning, but then at the end of the season, you finally got to where you really wanted to be. But at the beginning of the season, I know that you were really struggling with that. But seeing her so happy,
That's cool.
What meet was it? The Low Country Invitational, I think you did really good at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just seeing everybody so happy and like seeing them like reach their goals is honestly like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge point.
Yeah.
That's a huge point. And how long have you been on the team?
Since last year.
Since last year. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a huge perspective. Being able to appreciate your friends' wins.
Yeah.
That's all. And tell me again, how does the team aspect affect the success of the overall deal? Can you just be an
I think
all-star
it's
runner and
huge.
it works?
No, I don't think so. I feel like the team is such an important part. I mean, not only in meets where like the team actually matters for you to place and stuff,
Yeah.
but if you're on a team where people don't care and nobody's motivated, then like you don't care and you don't want to do good either. But if you're on a really competitive team, you all want to work really hard. You're all fighting for that varsity spot and you're all pushing each other every day, which is a really cool thing because you grow so much closer because the workouts are going to kick your butt and you need somebody to be there
Yeah.
going through it with you. And a lot of it's just like, if they can do it, I can do it. And you all just want to push each other. But if like nobody cares, then like it definitely kind
Yeah.
of ruins your motivation too.
Wow.
Because you're like, if they don't care, I don't care. We're not going to do good anyways. So I feel
Yeah.
like the team has such a big part of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it is not one man at all or one woman at
Yeah.
all. Like it takes a team.
That's
sure.
huge.
And it's not even just like she said, like numbers. It's so much more like psychology.
Yeah.
Like,
The
like,
numbers matter too, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
to win races, you have to have your 7 runners place good to
exactly.
be able to place in races. So, but yeah, that's a huge part of it. But I think that's like, for me, that's probably one of my favorite parts of cross country. Is like I feel like people look at it just as an individual sport, but like the
Right.
team is such an important part because you just all really encourage each other and motivate each other a lot. Because I mean, running is not one of those fun sports. You're not like, yeah, I get to go run today.
Well, that's
It's
why I
more
said, like,
oh,
I love
feel like
endurance workouts. Said
yeah.
no one ever except Grace and
Exactly.
Cole.
It's like I feel like I'm dying the whole time. But it's like
Such a love-hate.
your team makes it so much more fun. It's like because you guys all you're going through it together. You're all getting better together. You're improving.
Going
together.
through pain with other people.
Yeah, it makes it a lot
so
better.
no better
counterintuitively
bonding.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you bond. It definitely brings you all together. And I think it's really cool because like the bond you have with your teammates is like not a bond you find anywhere else because nobody else really gets you like
Yeah.
what you are going through with them, I guess.
Yeah.
But it sucks when teammates don't go through they like kind of cheat and like they don't do the workouts like they're supposed to. That's what sucks. And we have to like that. I feel like the three of us definitely like stepped up and like showed everybody like what the workouts were supposed to be like because a lot of people sometimes would just go off and do their own thing. Like coach would say, all right, go run 7 miles, and then some of them will just kind of like go play tag or
Go hide
something.
in
Go
the
play
woods.
tag.
Yeah, yeah, and
What kind of tag? Freeze tag? Normal tag?
Actually,
was
we
there a
have
Capture the
base?
flag.
Sorry to
Capture the
Capture
flag? Capture the flag?
Yeah.
That was a
We
big
had
one.
one freshman boy on our team this year who was like terrified of me because I had to hold him accountable. So he would always try to walk in practice and he would always like look back to see if I was looking. And of course, I'd be like, run, don't walk, run.
Yeah.
So he was so scared of me, but it was really fun. Like by the end of the season, he liked me and everything. But it was just funny. Like you have to be that person sometimes. So like
Yeah.
it's a team sport, so you got to hold each other accountable and make sure everyone's putting in like their load of work that they need to do
Yeah.
to hold up the team.
Yeah, sometimes I felt bad because I felt like I was being like really mean to people.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
is tough. Peer-to-peer
Yeah.
leadership. At the Citadel, when I first got into running, there was just a blanket rule as a knob, as a freshman, that you can't get caught walking.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was
that's
just kind of a
what-
blanket
That
rule.
was my rule. I made it up myself.
But when there's
they would all-
blanket rules, that really
Yeah.
helps too, because then you don't feel like you're the bad guy. If the team captains could
Yeah.
adopt like a
Yeah.
blanket rule, then it's not like, here, I'm singling you out, but that's just how we do
Yeah.
it. That's a cultural thing.
I remember for
Yeah.
us, like the girls, I don't really know with the boys. Like I remember we'd all talk and we get in a circle and be like, okay, guys, like let's really work on not walking at all, because like it was a lot of our team's first year ever running, so a lot of
Yeah.
them didn't know, and I just had to kind of like explain my story with it. Is like if you walk, you're like just holding yourself back so much because you're teaching your body it's okay to stop, like, it's
Yeah.
okay to walk, and you'll never be able to actually hit those distance. So I think once we all kind of overcame the walking issue, it was like a big step for our team.
Yeah. Once you get past that kind of couch to 5K mode,
Yeah.
where you can run a 5K continuously, that is important. One thing I started doing when I was captain of the triathlon team in college was at the end of every practice for the last quarter mile, we would actually almost sprint to get
Really?
your body used to going even
Bravery.
harder after you've already exhausted
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And we found pretty good success in that. it's definitely something that's easier to do when you're around people, though, because
Yeah.
then you're not going to be the first. It's like a competition. It's a
Yeah.
healthy
Yeah.
competition. Whenever you're out running by yourself, it's kind of tough
There's
to
not that.
Yeah.
same
hold yourself
thing.
accountable to go
Yeah.
hard at the end.
Even going from like a small school to a big school to a small school this year was definitely a big change for me, at least, because my old school was huge and our team
Right.
had like 30 people and there's only 7 varsity spots, so the competition there was like a lot higher, just
Yeah.
like because we would all be fighting for the varsity spot. But it was so good because we'd be holding each other accountable, because you'd
Yeah.
see that person and there'd be, if you were like the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th person, you'd all be just fighting to stay, either keep your varsity or to steal the varsity spot.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a cool experience. We all push each other so much at the end of all the workouts. Like we would never, if it was just a jog, we'd all, no, we're still gonna run it because you want to be the fastest, you
Yeah.
want to get better, which I think was a really good atmosphere though, because it was pushing us all to get better.
That's awesome. So, and I'm still stuck on the rewarding, but I want to know that aspect. Whenever you're in a position where you're new and you may not even get to see the spotlight, so to speak, you may not even be in the top 7 for a year or two. Have y'all been there? And then how do you stay motivated to
For
kind of
me-
keep going?
That was like a huge thing for me. It was always getting that varsity spot, because I was always one of like the end of the varsity. I wasn't up top where it was like I'm varsity for sure. I was always one of the people who was like, I should be, but I might, like, this person's coming. So it was just like, for varsity, the big like reward was you got to go to state, and going to state was such a big deal because you could go up the night before, you'd stay in a hotel, and you'd go to like a fancy restaurant, team dinner,
big
you
deal.
got to practice later, you got the varsity letter. So it was just a bunch of like stuff like that, and it was a lot of just saying like, oh, I was on varsity, you know. So I think that aspect, the reward, definitely pushed you a lot more.
Having
which I
your
think
eyes
was
on the
different.
prize.
Yeah, which I think was something I kind of struggled with this season, is since there was so few of us, we were all like kind of automatically on varsity. So it wasn't the same competitive wise that way, but I think it was good to like learn how to overcome that and still find like the drive in myself to run fast.
Well, so we're still like a really young team. So about half of us got to varsity. So like we had enough so that like half didn't and half did. What would you say?
Or for boys.
Oh yeah, for boys.
Girls,
I
we had
guess
all of us.
girls there was
There's,
yeah,
like,
pretty
We
much.
had one or two.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But for us, I feel like we were more of the top dogs, and we were trying to like teach most of everybody else like what to do. So it was harder for us to like get motivated from other people. It was a lot of self motivation.
Yeah, which I definitely struggled
Yeah.
with. For
Yeah.
me, it was I did a lot better not being out front, being in the back, and trying to stay with the people in the front, which that might not sound great, but it
Yeah.
definitely, having those people right there, like, I need to stay with that person. It was a lot harder saying, oh, they can't catch me, I got to stay in front.
Yeah.
So that was definitely an adjustment I had to make, was learning how to like be out front and stay out front. It was not the same as I was used to.
And one workout that we did that I really liked, that coach made us do, is that he'd send the slowest people out first, like 1 by 1 or by 2, by 3,
Right.
and then he'd send, and he'd start sending the faster people, and that was probably one of my favorite workouts because you have that, you have that person, and you're gonna catch that person, and then you're gonna catch the next person, and so it's not just okay, go run, and just hopefully you know where your
Yeah.
level is
I like that.
for like how fast you need to run. Maybe, I don't know, who knows. But instead, when we did that workout, like you had that, it was a lot more tangible. Like you knew like where you needed to go, and then you achieve it, and then like you go to the next one,
Yeah.
and then you achieve that, and then you go to the next one.
So your goal in those kind of runs was to catch your teammates,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm almost picturing like
Yeah, he
Sending
would
out
send out a
bait or
few,
something.
So they'd be like 1,
Exactly.
2,
sending
then
out
he'd
like sheep for the
stagger
wolves
it.
or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I didn't love that workout.
Yeah.
No, that workout sucked.
It was not fun. I do see why you liked it though.
No, that workout was terrible because it was after like a really hard day. That would be our last run. We
Yeah, you would have to run from our school to the track, which
to
is
the track.
Like
about
2
miles. Then you'd have to do like a track workout or a hill workout. Then you'd have to run back, but then you'd have to like
already have a
use
4-mile
all
base.
your effort to
Yeah.
get back.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a really tough workout. It was
Yeah.
good though. It was hard.
Yeah.
But I think like something to like encourage people that like I'd want to share is, for me, like something I had to do to like get out of my head this year with like being one of like the leaders on the team was like I would try to run with the boys instead of running with the girls. And that was really big for me because I always feel like girls think like, oh, the boys are fast, like I can't run with them. So for me, like, and Larainna did it too. We would step out and try to run with the boys, and I think that was really cool because like, yeah, I'm with the boys today. Like we're going fast.
They wanted to be one of the
But, like,
boys.
just like to
but
believe in yourself because
they
you can
couldn't.
do it if you
Always-
set your mind
They,
to it.
they couldn't be one of the
Trying to
boys.
be one of the boys.
Hey,
Can't
we
be
said
one
We
no
were faster than some of
negativity.
the boys.
Yeah, that is an important principle though. Trying to find people that are a little bit
Yeah,
better than
definitely
you.
look out. Like you can't. Like for me, it was like, oh, there's no one I can push. Then I was like, there's boys I can run with right there. Like you got to kind of get out of your head and like, oh, I can run with them. They're people
Yeah.
too. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're standing still, you're going backwards.
Yeah.
That's how I
So
look at it.
definitely don't
Yeah.
get fixed on like you gotta try to think if like, whatever you're doing isn't working, try to think of ways you can get past that.
Exactly.
That's
Because
that's
for
true.
me, motivating myself was not working, so I had to figure out how to do past that. Once I did that, that's whenever I started improving.
Yeah. Another thing though is that once you do get motivated by yourself, like self motivation, and you don't rely on other people to not to bash on you. I'm not trying to bash.
No,
on you.
you're fine.
But once you
Bash
get that-
radar.
yeah. Once you get that like self motivation, like it's so much easier to go out and run
Yeah.
because you don't rely on anything else to like make you run. You have that mindset
Yeah.
where you just need to go run.
For me, with the half marathon, I can do the whole self
Yeah.
motivation. For the 5K, the self motivation, I really struggle with.
Again,
Yeah.
it's backwards.
Don't know what it is.
You have like more self motivation for the longer
Yeah,
distance
for
than the
13.1,
5K.
I'm like, yes, I can do this. 13,
Yeah.
Then 5K, I'm like 3 miles fast. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, I definitely like that more steady approach.
Mhm.
So you said you see long distance in your future. Cole, you kind of see the long distance in your future. Cole, you've mentioned to me too wanting to do like crazy distance.
Yeah.
Where do you see the highest distance you going right now?
Like right now, or
Like right now, not literally like what could you do right now, but right now, what do you see
yeah.
for yourself as far as high distance goes? Do you have like a long-term goal?
I'm confused with what you're trying to say.
Okay, like
What
in
is
the
your goal?
future. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So like my goal for this year,
No, your
Like
goal,
life.
like ever.
ever?
You can break it up, man. You can break
Okay,
it up.
like
What are you
what-
gonna say? What are you gonna say? 100 miler,
No,
like
no,
in the
no.
next
Yeah.
10 years?
Like what you're doing. I'd love to be able to go do that. Like
Like an
Ironman.
ultra?
Yeah, ultra marathon. Like I would love to go
Which,
do that.
what do you think? So I'm doing an ultra marathon this year. You talking about though Ironman triathlon?
Yeah, triathlons, Ironmans, any of that.
Dude, I think you could. Especially if y'all have a swimming base. Oh, y'all would kill Ironman triathlon.
Yeah.
In the next couple years, let me know. Y'all probably be there. I'll sign up with you or something. But
I love adventure races. I've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of those, and those are so much fun because it's not like just a triathlon. You're actually like having a little bit more fun. You're like out in the woods.
kind of
and-
different.
yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
different. You have like checkpoints you got to go find, and it's orienteering, which is a whole different aspect to it.
Yeah.
And I really like those, and like that 206-mile relay race that I did. It's 36 hours, so you're like, so say you run like 7 miles, then you're like, okay, here you go, now you go run, but you have to stay awake for 36 hours. So I'm running. So there's this one 8-mile leg that I had to run in the dark. My flashlight was getting like dim.
Yeah.
And I was going up this mountain, and I'm maybe like 4 miles into it. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting there. And this was an 8-mile leg. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm almost done. And I get to the top of the mountain, and it's a big logging area, and like there was no trees. And so I just kind of sit there because I was really tired. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like sitting there looking at the stars, like, damn, this is pretty cool. Like, look at all these stars.
It'd be really
No
cool if I
trees.
wasn't in a race right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, well,
Literally me.
yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, I am in a race. So then I started running again, and so I ran down the mountain, and so I'm thinking in my head, it's been like 4 hours up here, and and it has not been 4 hours
for like a 8-mile
But
run.
it was so weird because it felt like I was up there for like 4 or 5 hours.
Like in a bad way or in a good way?
In a bad way. Like it was.
That's what
it
I
Yeah,
was-
an 8-mile run, that'd be a long time.
It was weird because like I just kept running and I just kept not finding the finish line.
That's the worst.
Yeah, and so
Nothing like being in a race and being lost.
yeah, it was scary. And I mean, I kept finding the like the orange little like checkpoints or like flags that like told you were on the right way. So like I was like, okay, well, I'm going the right way. So I just kept running, and then finally I got to the end, and they were like, hey, good job. And I was like, you weren't like looking for me, like I was lost. But he was like,
How
no,
many
you-"
weeks have passed?
Yeah.
You've got like a full beard by then.
Yeah. They were like, no, you did good. You did it in like an hour and a half. I was like, okay. That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of races. I'm wearing my Palmetto 200 shirt
Is that the one from Columbia?
from Columbia to Charleston. Yeah, very very similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
similar experience, man. It's so
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah.
But you feel like such a BA when it's
Yeah.
like midnight or
Yeah,
2 a.m. in
yeah,
your
yeah,
case,
yeah.
and you're like running in the woods with a headlamp on.
Yeah.
You're like, ain't nobody else doing this in the
Yeah.
world right now.
And it's so cold. It's
I
like
would fall on
snowing.
my face if I tried to do that.
Yeah.
I not freshman year, sophomore year. This has nothing to do with anything. This just runs to like running in the dark.
Sweet, good
But
preface.
This is in the light though. I fell at every single race.
You fell at every single race.
Wait,
like
when?
Fell.
tripped, like fell. My mom was
Bless
like,
your heart.
"Do you wear your contacts when you run?" I'm like, "Yes, I can see the ground. I don't know what it is." I would just face plant every single time.
What was going on?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't fall one time this season though.
Good.
You matured, but
Improving.
that was just a little struggle I went through. Sophomore
I
year.
appreciate your transparency and vulnerability.
Yeah,
That you're-
That message today?
yeah, the message
Gotta
today.
get back, got it right back up.
Yeah. When I am less, he is more. That's good. That's good. Awesome. Any other rewarding aspects?
Oh yeah, back on
Finishing
topic.
is a huge rewarding aspect.
Yeah.
Like
It is,
that
yeah.
sounds silly, but like just getting through the race, like I just ran that, I gave it all I got, is like such just in your head, like just the fact that you finished it for me was like a big reward. And then also like beating your like a goal you've been setting or
Yeah.
getting your personal record is like the best feeling in the world. Like for me, breaking 22 for the first time, like getting in the 21s was like a huge deal
Yeah.
for me. I would just go on mile split all the time and just like look at it like, oh, my time. And it's
Right.
something that I liked. So,
Was that a website? What'd
Yeah.
you just say? Mile split.
Mile Split. It's a website you can search your name and you can look at all your races and all your times, but it
Oh, wow.
has like your best time and like it's a nerdy runner thing. You can like look up everybody's times and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we
So-
had a similar thing for football in high school, max reps.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of like
think was
that
what
for
it's
running.
called.
Yeah.
So I would just go
Okay.
on it and look at my like new PR.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
You like
I'm
print it
in the
out or
21s
something.
now.
Be honest, you print it out. Did you like blow it up, put it on your wall or anything
Didn't
like that?
do that, but I would
Okay.
just go look at it all the time.
I wouldn't blame you.
But yeah, so I think that's just really cool. It's just getting your goals is like so exciting. 'Cause I literally started like tearing up. I finally broke 22 because like if this was literally an entire season of every race, I'd be 22:02, 22:01, 22:01, 20. Never could actually get past. Whenever
Yeah.
I finally got past it, it was like 21:40, I think. But it was a lot past it, and
wow.
it was like the most exciting thing ever. I couldn't believe that I had finally done it. So.
Yeah. Well, that's so key because numbers don't lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this is it. This number represents something. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
necessarily qualitative. You can
I mean-
really.
It was so cool being so close to it. 'Cause I knew I could do it. I just had to finally get past it. So I think just the reward of like beating your time is huge.
Yeah. I mean, that is true in a way, but not in a way because
Uh-huh.
like, courses can be dramatically
True.
different,
Yeah.
like dramatically, and it'll throw your time off by like 30 seconds,
Mhm.
and it's really hard, like saddening.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Heartbreaking.
That's true. That's true. There's some courses that are just known for being very
Yeah.
fast.
yeah, yeah, and the state championship is not that course.
Oh, our state
It's-
course
Oh.
is horrible. It
It's
has like
so
a mountain in the
slow.
middle.
Is
of
it in Greenville?
It's in Columbia.
It's in
Okay, but
There's
it's got
a
some
giant
hills.
mountain in the middle. It's
Speaking
huge. It's
speaking
not
of
just
a
hill.
wall that
It's
you
like
hit,
that big.
Trying to
But-
get up that mountain.
And
Yeah.
it's like at
It's
mile 2.
horrible. It's like
So
right.
it's right in the
it's
middle.
right
Oh.
at mile 2.
Everybody starts cheering for you, and you just literally
So-
want to just stop. It's the worst thing
Like,
ever.
the good thing though is that you're running downhill for a good.
No,
half
you're
mile.
not. There's
No,
not even a downhill.
There
There is no
There's
downhill.
uphill.
It's all uphill.
You get to the uphill, and then you're just flat and then finish.
No,
It's terrible. There's
but
like
af-
nothing. There's not like a downhill to look forward to.
No, there,
Sorry, I
at,
get heated
at
about
first
that
there
course.
is. There,
It's the
at
worst.
first there is. At first there's like a really like long downhill, but then it's just all uphill, and then
Yeah.
it's like flat and kind of more uphill.
It's a gradual
that.
downhill. It's not even like a good. Oh, I don't have to do anything.
And then the
It's still
finish line is
trying.
uphill.
Yeah.
So
State course is not a fun one. You get to the end, you're like, I need a PR end of the season, but then you
You
got the
don't.
little.
I actually did PR at state, and it was
No way.
a
Boom.
good feeling.
Hey, I did. I
very
think I did.
impressive.
No, I didn't last.
I
year.
did last year.
No, I didn't. I did not PR there this year. Yeah, I came close though. I came close.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So what I'm hearing, Cole, backtracking, one of your most rewarding things was seeing other people's success, cheering on other people,
Yeah, for sure.
and that kind of thing. Seeing the growth in other people, which is awesome.
I mean, it's so much more like heartwarming I guess,
Yeah.
than like seeing yourself. I mean, it's awesome to see yourself like achieve your
Sure.
goals, but like when you see other people achieve their goals, it's like it means a lot more.
Sure.
I guess.
Well, you also
Cheering on
got to
your
play a
teammates
part.
is like really cool too. Like that's like one of my favorite parts about it is that races just cheering on everybody else.
Mm.
Exactly.
It's just like, really fun because you can see everybody working hard. You're like, oh come on, you got
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts. Like we would always try to like make the boys laugh whenever they're running too, because like cross country races are not fun.
No.
So like you'd be racing, there's miserable.
Come join
like,
us.
"No more!" Like that's like one of our teammates' names. So we would just always like make, and he'd always laugh and smile. So that part's always fun too. Just like being there to like support them.
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah.
supporting, finishing the race,
Yeah.
getting that satisfaction.
And it's so cool whenever the people like that you've been watching work so hard finally get their time, because like you have like for us like the freshman girls were a big thing because they were new to it. They like didn't know like what a good time was, so they finally like figured out and
Right.
they started working really hard.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing them get excited about it because
Yeah.
a lot of them were just like kind of, oh, I'm doing this to keep me in shape for soccer, I'm doing this to keep me in
Right.
shape for lacrosse. Again, with the whole doing one sport to keep you in shape for the other.
Yeah.
But so
That's awesome.
it was cool seeing them start to like actually get into cross country and not just have the mindset, this is just to keep me in shape for my
Yeah.
other sport. So that
Right.
was really cool too.
Kind of getting their buy-in a little bit on what you're doing
Yeah.
and helping them out. Yeah. Because I guarantee you, they all look up to you. Those freshmen, they all look up to you guys and the other seniors, juniors, or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, so that's the key, being that example.
For sure.
Larainna, did you have a point that you wanted to add on what's been rewarding to you in the whole process?
Probably the friends you make, because like we're just like a little family and we all understand
Yeah.
each other. We all go through the same pain. It's just really nice to have people there for you to keep pushing you and to get you through it and
Right.
to support you.
Right. That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
I think something else like this is another cool thing I think about like that's really rewarding is like we would always like get in a circle and like pray before all of our races, and I think that was
cool.
such a cool thing because like we were all just like really vulnerable and real with each other, and it was just like a really cool bonding moment.
Wait,
Was just
I
to be
don't
able to
remember
pray and just all
The girls too.
the girls.
Oh,
did it.
okay. I was like,
Cole was like already off to get some recovery.
no,
Okay, that's actually probably my favorite highlight of like the
Yeah.
whole season is we would do this
We would,
thing.
like,
It
huddle
was so
up.
cheesy. We'd go
Oh my
OCA,
that was awesome,
OCA,
yeah.
and it was horrible. Like it was the most pathetic looking thing ever. And all the other teams would just stare at us, but like we had so much fun doing it,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
definitely brought us closer.
Did y'all have any hand motions to go along with it, or were you just kind of cheering?
OCA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, y'all
Yeah,
had
like, we
the
dab and
then-
y'all had the shoulder thing going, the sway going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
The worst part though is we never knew when to finish.
Yeah,
We'd
so
go,
we just
OCA,
keep
hey,
going.
OCA.
It's
and
just
we'd all
fade
kind of
out.
fade
It's
out.
just
Everyone's looking at their watch.
You'd be like
About to
waiting for
go.
the pick, like woo. We never knew when to do it,
Yeah.
so it just kind of like it was not good.
That's awesome.
We loved it though. It was like it became like an inside joke. So every race, we'd be like, okay, let's do it, guys.
Yeah.
We're like, oh no, not again.
When will it end? That's awesome. That's cool. Well, as we kind of wrap up, then, just general final words. Love hearing you guys hard on what's been rewarding, as you guys go on to what's next. And Grace goes back to break 21 minutes, 20 minutes. Who knows? Who knows? We'll love hearing your heart and what's been rewarding and hear about your team. As we close, any other final thoughts then, whether it's related to the whole running process or just development and growth in general that you guys want to add for the listeners?
Yeah, I had one thing. Over the summer, I went to the Seacoast summer camp, and one of the speeches that they had was about what was it? Fail to try to.
It was basically like chasing failure.
Chasing failure,
was
yeah.
like a documentary or
Yeah, and
something like that.
I took that to heart really hard, and I was like, I'm going to nationals. I'm like, I'm not going to nationals, but I'm gonna go to nationals. And so I wrote that down on a piece of paper and pinned it up in my room, and I'd look at it every single day. And I had my like my workout station, so that like whenever I was doing sit-ups, push-ups, I was looking at that piece of paper, and I'd say, I'm gonna go to nationals. I'm not gonna go to nationals, but it keeps you in that mindset, like that, like, okay, you might not get this absurd like goal, but if you try to get that absurd goal, you're gonna end up somewhere down here.
Yeah.
And somewhere down here,
Worst case scenario.
Yeah,
You'll end up
exactly.
somewhere kind of just right
Exactly.
below it.
Yeah.
and like somewhere down there is awesome. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome. And so it's really just like setting the bar really, really high so that I mean, you're gonna get disappointed and you're not gonna be happy sometimes, but then you like take a step back and you're like, wow, like you look back at like how much you have done and whatnot, and you just gotta take it all in, and I don't know, just set the bar high, and I don't know, try to reach your goals.
Wow, that's a huge point.
Yeah.
That's a huge point. I can't really add anything to that, but what I'm hearing is that it's maybe more important that you just make progress than just hitting your goals.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something that like I want to share to encourage people is like, I feel like this is the most basic Bible verse everybody knows. It's just, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And while it's like so basic, everybody uses it all the time, it's just so true. And that's been like something that's like just gets me through life, especially through hard races or anything, is I just think all things through Christ, all things through Christ. Because like God can get you through whatever like life's throwing at you. So I think that's just a big thing to remember, is like God's got it and you can do anything through him.
That's an awesome point. Yeah. Have y'all ever, Grace, have you ever been in a race where you're like, I may not even live?
Yes, every single race.
Every single
I
race.
always write it on my hand. I do a little cross, and I have like Philippians 4:13. And I'll be running, I'm like, all things through Christ, all things through Christ.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps you through, because I'm like, God's got me. Like, I'm not gonna die. I've got this. See, I think that just in life, not even in sports, like just in life in general, like God can get you through anything. It's just a big thing to remember.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. Love it.
One thing I used to tell the boys before we'd have our little huddle.
Yeah. Y'all didn't sway?
No,
What
we
were y'all doing?
definitely swayed.
There wasn't
You
a
swayed?
school.
No, but we'd have our little huddle and we'd talk. I'd talk to them a little bit, and I'd always say, like, whenever you're feeling tired, don't feel like you're tired. Think the opposite of that. Like, as soon as like you reach that point, just push it further. Just stop thinking about like how much you're hurting right now. Just think about like where you could be once you're done with this race, and think and then just think and like just go for it, and don't try to be stuck at where you're at right now. But
Wow.
I'd always tell them that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. What I'm hearing in my experience as a leader, you've got to stretch people, and you're not necessarily there to tell them how bad it feels.
Yeah.
That's not what a leader's there to do, Of course they feel bad.
Yeah.
But your job is to tell them that they can achieve more.
Yeah.
So almost telling them, in a way you're telling them a little bit of a lie, but in a way that becomes true,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Whenever you tell them that. You speak belief into them. So I like that point. Larainna, what's your final thought you want to add?
So I think one of the main things that helped me get better, because I wasn't like really fast, I was like kind of like average in there. Like my biggest thing was not trying to like be first, but to be better than what I was. So to improve in every race, because there's no way I was ever going to come out first. So it was just a matter of beating my old time and setting a new record and just trying to beat that every time.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I like that, yeah. That's the thing about running, especially because I'm 27 now, so I might join a team or something like that at some point soon. But it's really just all about you're chasing a better you.
Yeah.
And you gotta have that mindset. Just keep chasing a better you. Keep trying to break your own goals. So I like that a lot. Well, that's about all the time we have. That's solid.
Sweet.
Listen to y'all being leaders in your schools. Well, I want to thank you guys. That was awesome listening to your encouragement, listening to your season highlights. And I know y'all are influencing your classmates, influencing your community, your church. Larainna, didn't even realize you're employed here in the cafe area. I think Coach Nate, when he recommended you guys, I thought he said you worked at McAllister's.
Yeah, I used to.
And you work
No,
I
I
used to work at
yesterday
McAllister.
was my last
I was
day.
like, good Lord, you're doing 2 sports, you're doing school, and you're doing 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Like, how's that even physically possible? But even just doing 1 job and everything. So that's awesome. Y'all have such a wide breadth and even depth of what y'all are doing. So I want to encourage y'all to keep doing it, keep being leaders in your schools and whatever's next, and definitely believe in you guys and your potential and seeing where y'all go. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys again. And we'll throw you guys social media feeds too on the show notes if you guys want to be found, so people can track you guys. So that's all we have.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
for so much more. Have we lost ourselves?